Hi there, Jeff here from the Wetsuit Centre, talking to you today about the Billabong foil winter wetsuit for 2012 into 2013. So for this coming winter, which is on its way, Billabong foil has always proved to be a very popular wetsuit, great entry-level wetsuit, really well priced with loads of features. And year on year they get better and better as some of the more expensive technology filters down from the top end suits and starts to sort of make more of an appearance in the cheaper suits. So a suit like this, sort of 4 or 5 years ago, would have been a top end suit, but now you can pick up one of these for £139 there or thereabouts, and that's a really fantastic price point, which is very accessible for anyone that wants to get into winter wetsuits or winter sports, water sports for this year. So the Billabong foil, what's it all about? You've got the two different versions here. You've got the back zip and the chest zip version, which is the entry method into the suit. The key things you should really know is in terms of the thickness of the suit. Both of these suits are 543, and what that actually means is the thickness of the neoprene. You've got 5mm of thickness around the core area where you need lots of warmth, so that's 5mm. Then it goes into a 4mm under the arms, and then 3mm on the arms where you need a bit more flexibility. So very sort of thin and flexible on the arms, but still warm enough. Basically, just gives you more freedom of movement. Okay, so the next thing you really need to sort of look out for, and the thing you should think about, is the quality of neoprene running through these suits. There's really sort of two grades of neoprene these days. There's probably more than that, but there's sort of two sort of key grades of neoprene. You've got the standard sort of BTN cheaper neoprene, which you get in cheaper wetsuits, which is kind of coarse, not so soft to the touch, and isn't as flexible. And then you've got the stuff which is called like Ultra Stretch, Super Flex, Ultra Light, lots of different names, but essentially it's a neoprene which is a lot lighter and more flexible and softer. Okay, that's the type of neoprene that you want because it's got more air within it, which means it's more flexible and moves with your body better, and it also insulates you better because that air within the rubber basically helps retain heat inside and keep you warmer. Okay, so it's definitely the stuff that you want to have in the suit. Again, 4 or 5 years ago you would have hardly got any of that, especially in a cheap suit. But now, compared to last year even, the Billabong foils have got a huge amount of that Superflex neoprene running through the suit. So this year, predominantly, I'd probably say like 75%, 80% of the suit is now that Superflex neoprene. The whole upper body is really flexible, really soft to the touch. Loads of that lightweight neoprene runs right down to the middle. The whole back of the leg, you've now got the Superflex neoprene, even round down the shins and the ankles, so you can get your foot through it easier. Really soft. You can physically see the difference between the two qualities of neoprene there. Become a bit closer. You've got this really sort of lightweight jersey there, very flexible, very soft, and then the more coarse stuff here. So that coarser neoprene is hardly playing a part in the suit at all now. Just around the sort of hips, the core, the midsection, and basically you don't really need a huge amount of flex there anyway. Even around the sort of like the crotch, the groin part of the suit is that like really flexible, lightweight neoprene. Around the lumbar as well, very sort of flexible, high-grade neoprene around the bum as well. So to have that sort of 80% Superflex neoprene through a suit which is priced really sort of low £100 entry-level wetsuit is really fantastic. So definitely a bonus point of the Billabong foil this year. Okay, moving on to the next thing, the thing you should be thinking about is obviously the seams. The seams are the key sort of part of which make a winter wetsuit, and this particular suit is what we call glued and blind stitched, which is something you definitely want in a winter wetsuit. What that basically means is the seams are sewn halfway through, and on the other side they're glued, and you can actually physically see that on the other side of the suit here as well. Stitched halfway through and then glued on the other side with a really industrial glue, which won't let it pull apart. Okay, and then any areas where you might have a little bit more sort of stress upon them, around the cuffs there, they double stitch it and put a little bit of taping on the inside as well, just to reinforce the seams. All of the seams are strategically placed, they're all bent so they don't restrict the movement of the suit, and even that's thought about even on a suit of this sort of value, of this cost. And that's the whole way through. Around the bum you don't get a seam on this particular suit because apparently it doesn't feel as nice. Okay, even the shaping of the panel, all designed to give you flexibility where you need it. So in this particular example, the sort of the lumbar region there as well. So that's something you should think about. And then the next sort of thing to mention is the entry to the suit. So as I said before, you've got the back zip and the chest zip. The difference being, obviously, the back zip, the zip is on the back. The primary benefit of this is accessibility to the suit, of actually getting in and out of the wetsuit. Obviously, with the back zip, you can bring the zip right down to the bottom. It opens right up nice and wide, and it's easy to get on and off the wetsuit basically. So a lot of people are more drawn to a back zip because it's easy to get on and off, which is a bonus in the winter. Having said that, the chest zip has its benefits as well. With the chest zip, there's no need for a zip on the back of the suit, which frees up the back panel, means it's a lot more flexible through the back, because there's no zip inhibiting movement there. Obviously as well, you have an unbroken neck piece, which allows it to create a better seal around your neck, and it's less prone to flush throughs. Okay. What that does mean is though, there's a less of an area to be able to get through. In this particular suit, you've got to get in through the neck. Having said that, once you get the neck of it, it's not too hard. But there is options for both, so whatever your preference is, then obviously the option is there. Okay, moving inside the suit then, to show you the sort of entry systems. One of the biggest difference between this year and last year's back zip is this back panel. You might have noticed when I opened it up. And basically what that is, it's a piece of neoprene inside the suit, which goes underneath the zip. So if you can imagine, this zip is very waterproof. It's specially treated YKK zip. Spring sort of loaded, very robust, doesn't sort of seize up with salt water, and it's the teeth matched together so it doesn't let any water in. But if any water does come through the suit, instead of going straight onto your back, it's met with this back piece of neoprene. This is a back panel, and then basically filtered out through the suit, and then you've got these drain holes at the bottom of the suit there as well, just to get rid of the water. So a nice little touch. That's with the particular back zip system. So you don't get that on a lot of entry-level wetsuits. With the chest zip, see the chest zip piece comes up and over the head. This inside piece of neoprene is brought up nice and high. It's the flexible material again. You've got a little stash pocket inside. If any water does come in through the chest zip system, it's only going to be through the side, and then it's brought out through the drain holes here or around the back of the suit there as well. So very little chance of water getting into the suit. Then the suits on the inside become a little bit more similar. If I open up the back zip, and again it's one of the big differences between this year's and last year's foil. Now if I actually turn the suit inside out, you can really see the different qualities of neoprene evidenced on the side of the suit purely by the colour. The black stuff is basically the BT&M, the cheaper sort of grade of neoprene, and the sort of pinky purple colour stuff is the stuff that's really high quality, the Superflex neoprene, which they essentially use in the top end wetsuits as well. So really high grade soft neoprene. Okay, so if I turn this fully inside out, you can sort of see the evidence. So lots of different panelling there, and you can see the amount of pink neoprene you're getting on that suit. It is the majority of the wetsuit. On the inside of the suit, you can see all the seams are sort of glued there, and where you have the key stress areas, you have the taping, and a bit of liquid taping as well, just to make sure it's really robust and it's not going to sort of break or fall apart. One of the biggest things to mention on the inside of the suit then is the little orange panels here, which is a thermal material. It's a polypro material, and this is a really good material for keeping you warm. It's basically fleecy like thermal underwear, and what it does, it's non-absorbent, and it wicks water away from the body, and basically means any heat that is leaving your body, instead of being sort of lost through the neoprene, it's basically retained inside the suit and keeps you nice and warm. Whereas you just got that on the chest panel last year, this year you get that front and you get it on the back as well. So the inside of the piece of that back panel, you get that as well. Keeps your back warmer as well, and your body. Okay. Looking at the chest zip then, it's pretty much a similar situation, but obviously because it's a chest zip wetsuit, you don't have that back panel. So they just basically put it front and back there as well, so you can have a little look inside. That's the back panel, so you get that orange material across the whole back panel and on the front. So that's pretty much quite the same, but just obviously a different sort of technique of putting it on there. So essentially that's everything with the Billabong foil. You get the standard things you'd expect. You get Duraflex knee pads, pretty much the same on most suits these days. So robust material stops the suit wearing through, especially on the knees. But having said that, lots thought about with this suit, and this is the sort of bulk of most companies' purchases, you know, is around this price bracket. And so they give you a huge amount of features for the money. So anyone that's sort of wanting to spend around about this sort of money, they're not sure it's going to be a great quality wetsuit, then you can be assured that you're getting a fantastic wetsuit for your money. Loads of flexibility, loads of thermal materials, great entry system, really durable. Everything's thought about, the shape of the seams, the thickness of the neoprene in the various areas where you need that flexible neoprene is put into the suit. So, really fantastic suit. Billabong foil for 2012 into 2013 is a Wetsuit Centre recommendation.